Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. And welcome to another section. Yes, as usual, before we go into our discussion, let somebody pray for us. Hello, house. Good morning, all again. Afternoon and evening to you all.
Good morning. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Amen. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Today we want to look at the first week of the month of August, how the market has performed, and what are we looking at as we go into the new month and the rest of the quarter and the year. And we have seen the Q2 or half year result of a many listed company, apart from those including paying companies, especially from the banking sector that are still outstanding as we speak now. But the ones that came to the market before now, we have seen how this company has performed, and that has given every one of us in the market a clue what to expect at the end of the day. And if companies on the exchange can sustain this positive trend in terms of their performance, for me, it's a good one for every one of us in the market to know that yes, at the end of the day, something good is coming, either in terms of dividend, and capital appreciation. Like I always say that earnings feed on what price feed on earnings, and these earnings are becoming positive and stronger to give investors insight what they actually need. And also, this one is going to support the price of this stock because at the end of the day, you are there to work to make money in form of capital appreciation, as I said earlier, or dividend comment on form of scripts, share, or call it a bonus. It tells you that the market at this point now, what we should do as an investor or trader is to combine our fundamental and technical effectively so that we can stay ahead of the market and also take advantage of what is happening globally and at the same time our market here. I will tell you that every market of the world has different kind of what kind of economic policies. Yes, we know that as we speak now, because of the distortion in distortion in economic environment around the globe, market all over the world are looking the world of inflation and rising inflation. On that note, this inflation is what people are looking at to say exactly what is happening in the market. On that note, we need to look at what we can deduce from all these numbers we are seeing, how it can guide us to make our informed decision. Naturally, if you look at the chart that is here, but before I want to go to trader, I want to just show you something so that it will guide you as investor or trader, because these are what we need. Seeing the fundamentals of the economy and also of the companies, give you an insight to what you should do. That at the end of the day, you'll be ahead of the market. Yes, we have seen that market has been in the solution about 2 weeks, but this first week of August, after investors have seen the earnings of this company, what we call sectoral rotation, and also going to strong group of stocks are what is happening in the market. People are taking advantage of these numbers to position right, and that is how to work, how to trade, or how to invest in any market situation, whether you're in a bull market or in a bear market. And don't forget that I've discussed an economic cycle. The economic cycle, are we in a early expansion, middle expansion, late expansion, early contraction, and late contraction? Also, you don't forget that I discussed about the market, either the bearish circle or bull circle. And when we say bearish circle, at the same time, we're looking at seeing a double top. But when we're saying a bullish circle, also looking at what we call a double bottom and that situation. And also, if you look at your technical patterns, you need to know, is it at oversold region or at overbought region? Once you're able to marry these circles together as an investor, you stay ahead of the market no matter what is happening. And that is what we want to look at. We have seen these earnings, how these earnings has giving us insight what to do. But we want to understand, because going forward, it is the numbers we're going to expect that will support the price. Yes, we know that as we speak now, liquidity in the market or in the economy is very, very low. And because there's no liquidity, we're not seeing more stock moving as expected. Remember when we have a low interest rate in the economy, stocks were riding on that because we have liquidity. People can even borrow to invest. But because of high rates now, because of this almost two height we have had before now, and that has also moved cost of funds up for that. People are not. But I believe that, which I know, if you are following me, I've been saying that The only people who are expecting now to do magic in the market or to make the market more liquid is the PFAs, the institutional investors. And when they start investing, they will change the face of the market because they are going to come with what? With money, because these people are the ones that play most, in the fixed income market. At the same time, because there are some stock that has no potential for them to hedge against inflation, they are coming back to what? To play the same market with us as we speak now. That's why you, as a trader or investor in this equity market, all you need to do is keep your gaze in the market. Don't just invest and go and sleep. It is only that people invest and go and sleep. No, they say, my dividend. No, you need to see what is happening in the market so that you can easily change your decision. Where you need to cut loss, cut loss. That's why also, I will emphasize on stop loss, know your investment objective, your entry and your exit strategy, your profit target. All these are what you need as a trader at any given time. But for today now, because we have seen the strength on the earnings, we want to look at both technicals and the fundamental to be at a good position to take advantage of the market, because that is essence of what investment. As I said, as economic factors or cycle are changing due to rising inflation or rising rates, combined with what geopolitical tension here and there. Every stock market trader or investor should understand how the interplay between or relationship between discretionary and staples consumers, because these are what really drive price. Because everything you are doing, either you are in service or you are in product, or at the same time is the consumers that will buy, and it's what they are buying with you that will also impact your bottom line. That's why you have a top line and bottom line. It is the activities of buying and selling that bring about that change, that earnings that will drive the price. You need to understand which section are we now, because when we talk about consumer discretionary stocks, represent those areas where consumers spend their discretionary income, and this include the automobile, this retail, building and all those stuff, and also these are what those discretionary consumers spend their money. But when there is a consumer staples, these are what stuff investors need. Whether there is bad economy or good economy, these are what they need. I mean, they are essential, especially now that we are seeing that inflation and interest rate is making a lot of people purchasing power low, but they don't have enough money to consume. But there are something that's essential, especially when it comes to food, when it comes to energy, that are essential, personal use. All these are things that are essential, that no matter what's happening in the economy, you must go for them. You must go for food, you must go for energy, you must go for person. You can't say because the economy is bad, you won't wash your mouth again. No, you won't use the detergent again. There are things that you need to, that no matter what is happening, that means this kind of company that are into this kind of activities, you should know where you should invest. That at the end of the day, they still be posting number, and this number is what going to impact their number, their price at the end of the day. Once you're able to do this, I will tell you you are in the right position, because during when you see that the general market is doing well, both the discretionary income or stocks, these are where you see that all stocks are moving. But when there is pressure in the market, you see those stable stocks or stable schools are coming up with that, they tend to outperform the market, because of what? At that better time, things are really not too hard, but there are, of course, that people want to, no matter what is happening, they still want to do the consumption. They want to, like in economics, call them inelastic demand. Whether there's increase in price of that goods and services, there is still demand for those goods, and that is why you need to know the kind of goods and those kind of company. And that is why today, before we go into technical, I want to look at some numbers that came from the consumer goods sector. Because we are coming from this angle, we want to look at all those consumer goods numbers and see, because we want to do comparison analysis this morning to see how can position in those sectors, which one has a better earnings, low PE ratio, what is their profit margin. Because those that are in this group, that last about 2 weeks ago, I brought out what we call earnings quality. To know that this earnings has quality, must have value, and there must also be growth. We want to look at this growth in this company's performance, the value in this company's performance, and also what is their profit. Hello?
Hello, sir. Hi, you are back.
Okay, yeah, okay, sorry. I don't know what's happened. The first time for a while, long time, I've seen my internet. This will be from, I'm very, very surprised to see this today. Okay, as I was saying, we want to look at these companies and do what we call a comparative analysis to see how these companies have performed and where you should be, between your tents now. Because these are consumer goods, you know that as far as their services or their product is what we need, there will be demand. But also when able to pass your cost of production to the consumer. But the more your price goes up, also expect that the quantity they will demand will be low. That has a way of also slowing down your performance. But if you see what has happened in Q2 or half year, most of the companies that sector were able to grow their top line. It tells you that their sales is up, but when it comes to the bottom line, because of high cost of production and high cost of fund, we're seeing that most of their bottom line is a bit. But for those in this sector we're going to discuss, I will tell you they perform well looking at their numbers alone. And for me, it's a guide for us as investors to know what to do with those companies that have done so well, so that we know how to invest in them. And that is what we need to know at this hour. I want to quickly call up those number before I go into technical analysis, so that we look at the fundamentals of this company. They will now come back look at the chart for the market and also the chart forward for these sectors we're going to discuss. I want to look at the chart for consumer goods index. Let's see how that sector are performing in terms of their chart for the industry. We want to first of all look at the fundamentals, that is the numbers that came from the industry, so that we know exactly what to do with these companies in that industry. Quick one, let me call the chart off for us to go straight to action. Hello, House. Can you see this chart here?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yes, this consumer goods half-year performance. As we speak now, all the results I've received in that sector, and I'll tell you, the new rules of NSE for you to release the results before you start paying fine. I think most of them have become more, corporate governance decline. Like I say so, because but before the end of July 31st, most of these numbers are already in the market. That means everyone in the market are paying cost of what? Conscious of cost. They don't want to pay penalty for the results unless you have reason and you inform the exchange. But for me, it's a good thing for the investor, so that you're able to plan what your investment and at the same time forecast when the stock will come to the market and when you should be in those stocks or not. For me, it's a good one for the market. Yes, if you look at the table now we're seeing here, these are about almost 12 companies in that sector. Starting from we're starting with the Unilever, Lancome, Northern Nigeria Flour Mill. Yes, these ones are match account, but because in this sector, I want to also look at their numbers. They have a Capri there, have a Nigeria Brewery, can see Guinness, Champion Brewery, Nestle Nigeria, Boa Food, Dangote Sugar, International Brewery, Flour Mill Nigeria, Honeywell Flour, and Vital Food. And these are the the stocks or the company in that sector, as But we want to look at the numbers of this company as per individual company, and also compared to see their earnings and also their top line, the growth they have made, the bottom line, what is the earnings, the profit after tax. Want to see what is happening, so that you will know exactly what to do with your work, with your portfolio at this time. Which one you should stay ahead, because if you are seeing a company half-year result, you can easily make a forecast for the full year that will be ended. On that note, you need to look at this thing very well together. We're not rushing. Want to take time and look at it, so that you too on your side there can also add the thought, also ask questions to guide us to bring out more information from these numbers, because as I've said, this is what we need to do this morning before we go into the technical aspect of it. Starting from the turnover for all of them. I want to look at the turnover. Here you can see the figure, but I want to look at the change in turnover. That means the previous year and this current year. Yes, I want to look at the company that are able to grow their top line by either entering into a new market or introducing new products for them to make more sales, or also expanding their their market, that say eating to another market or discovering another market entirely. That is why you're able to grow your sale. Or also the number of people that also you have penetrated to in terms of your strategy, also is a part of what to also support your bottom line at the end of the day. These are how to also know where a company is doing well. A company is also moving from one point to the other. When you look at their yearly performance, this also will be another thing that we look at. Here, if you look at this top line, the top line here, which is the turnover, that top line turnover or revenue, or anything you want to call it, this turnover, I can see that nearly all the companies in this sector were able to grow their top line. That means top up for this company, this sector, and also the managers of the company. That means none of them were complaining whether because of the economy is hard. because we expected that the first quarter was okay for them. But in the month of May, when the interest rate was high, but you know that for energy, not like diesel and others, that from early March, I mean late April, we started seeing that the geometrical increase in cost from almost 200 or almost 500 to 800. These costs also were borne by these big companies within that period. But on that, you can see that the top line remained good, which is okay for me. That means they're able to expand their business. And this is also include that most of the managers here are aggressive after the COVID-19. That's why I say post-COVID-19 planning performance of many companies they are saying, for me, has beat expectation. It tells you that most of the companies have gone out of their way to make sure that their product, their services become visible and to attract more patronage to their work, to their product, which is very, very good for me as you and also as investor in this market. When you see a company is expanding, also trying to enter new ground, that with new product or new strategy, tells you that those companies know what they are doing. And that has happened for this consumer goods or companies. You can see here among them, I'll tell you that the company that really grew the top line most is Cadbury. Okay, yeah, Cadbury with almost 50%. For others are still okay. I think 41, 38. But for me, all of them are above what we really put in our what we call the quality earnings. We say anything that is above what 20% and above, and you can see most of them were above 20%. Apart from the one that came from food that is 11 here. And also, if you move to your to the PAT, which is the earnings, where company has factored in all the cost of sales, cost of running the company, not of cost of operation, personnel cost, and at the same time, after they have also taken cost of what tax, they are paid tax, which is essential. You know that as a listed company, tax is very essential, and they pay tax for this period. We're not having what we call the profit after tax. For me, now for this company in this category, you can see that most of them even double their worth, more than 100%, grow their worth, their top, their bottom line, which is the PAT. For me, it's a good one. You can see it here for the life of Unilever. Unilever moved from almost 714 million to about almost 2 billion for that same period. It's a good one that represents about 163. You can see apart from NASCOM that was below 25, but most of them also are above. You can see some thousand. And here, the only company that I know that really entered red position is what is Honeywell, and it's the first quarter because they have much at year end. If you look this of a non-conventional brewery, this is not red actually, because they moved from a loss of 13 billion to almost 336.2 million. For me, it's a good one. They have wiped away the loss of almost 13 billion to it's a good move for them. And their top line also remained that direction. Their top line was up from 81.95 billion to 111.4 billion. It tells that this company, and this are what we discussed earlier, that there are some products that no matter what is happening in the economy, they will continue to work to look after them. When it comes to this consumer staple like beer, I don't promote it. Beer, drinks, people will still want, whether the economy is tight, they still want to drink and all those stuff. And that is why you are seeing these numbers from that sector, that sector looking up again. And don't forget that before now, it's like they were caged because of COVID-19. No party, people were not moving. On that note, there was now that COVID-19, no restriction any longer. Can see that people are consuming. You can see it reflecting on. Despite we're saying that purchasing power has dropped, but these people can see their top line and bottom line remain strong. For me, don't to look at these things. This is why I said look at discretionary income stock and those that are consumer staples stocks. These are how you look at. No matter what is happening, there are some consumption that will continue. No matter how much you are earning, whether they are earning million or 100,000, I think that's essential that you need to buy. And the guy that's earning million will buy it. The one that earning 1,000 will buy it. These are the things we also look at when we are doing our own analysis, because it's going to go a long way to support our final judgment when we are looking at the earnings. Yes, finally, the one that is very important to every one of us here in this class is not to see the earning per share. This earning per share is if for the company, for example, we divide the profit after tax numbers of share in issue, you get the earning per share, and that will give you an insight what it's like to be at the end of the year. The focus can easily be forecasted at all, can make projection. At the same time, you can see what they have paid the previous year, the numbers, the earnings are active, and what they're able to pay. and also look at the company policy. They have equalization policy in their payout. If their dividends, if their earnings go up, are they going to grow their dividend? You need to also look at all this because they ask the way of also helping you to know what to do with your position at that particular time. That is why, as an investor, these are also very, very important for you to also guide your decision. You want to look at the earning per share of this company. If you look at the earning per share for a stock like Unilever, that is almost around 15 naira or 17 naira. No, since then, half year of 33 kobo. Because from here, just know that yes, this company may likely move from this point to around either 60 kobo or what something. We can easily make focus because this full half year result you have seen. Then you can also go down to see what is happening in others. Then that also guide you as you speak. You can see the earning per share from Northern Nigeria Flour Mill 95 kobo. That of NACO around NASCOM around 58 kobo. But you can see that there are some companies that their earnings per share are giving us insight what we expect at the end of the year. Capri.
If you pay your stomach when you're drinking.
Capri, for me, if you look at Capri.
Ambrose, tell this woman that is disturbing us now. Let her mute herself. What is all this?
Hello.
Tell her to mute herself. She will bring children where she is taking lectures and they will be disturbing people.
Hello, sorry, no, I'm talking. I'm not looking at you now. Okay. Sorry, House. Let's continue. Sorry. Yeah. Then, as I'm saying, look at the earning per share. It's very, very important to give an insight what you expect from this company. And those companies that expect to pay interim dividend for half year, we have not seen them, whether they are paying it to full year. Even the Nigeria Brewery that was expected to do for half year, we have not seen the half year with the strong earnings we have seen. We have not seen the interim dividend. That of even Nestle to half year, we have not seen. And these are the major ones I know that from this sector that pay interim, unless they move it to third quarter. But at Q2 now, half year, we have not seen their interim dividend. But the numbers we are seeing from these companies, I will tell you, these numbers are not bad at all. Their earning per shares as at half year, for me, is a good one. To look at that of Nestle 35 naira, earning per shares at half year, you can even easily project around even 70 to 35 from here if this trend is sustained. And we're seeing that now the major cost of price of items to be high, those that use the wheat, we're seeing that with the shipment starting from Ukraine, if that is sustained, for almost for 3 days now, I can see that globally prices of commodities has kind of crashed, coming down. If it continue, that means some relief will come for manufacturing company. Apart from our dollar issue, also look at the exchange rate here from such as high almost 710, 720, but now that's come as low as almost 630 again. If it is sustained, can go further low, that would be nice. But for me, I believe that most of these companies in this sector are also have done backward integration. That's a plus for them. And also their market is there. Like I said in the last class, that most of these companies are able to also move their goods across the border of Nigeria. Can also sell in dollar, and when they come, they have the way of also impacting their bottom line. That also support their sales because they have market. Even though people here are not having more to buy, if they're able to move their goods across the border, their sales will still remain. That I can see those most of them sustain them good top line. For me, it's a good one. Then if you look at the P ratio, P ratio ideally for a good company, a P ratio can be something below 15 times your earnings. But this is a half year, not full year for us to exactly. But if you look at different models of evaluating a company, P ratio is not enough for you to say this company is overvalued or under, but it gives you quick insight to know whether a company is overvalued or undervalued. But for what we're seeing here, the ones we have seen that has a strong high P ratio, we have seen that because of their price and the way they are coming from, consider the previous year where they are and what they are doing now. The earnings has improved, but the P ratio is still high. That does not mean that those stocks are grossly overpriced. You can also consider their dividend price and how to consider that pay dividend to what book valuation. That valuation will help you to know exactly the state of these companies. For me, investor should just look at those that have 15 or below 12. They are attractive, and those that has more than them does not say that those companies are grossly overpriced, but they are still. Then when we come to technical analysis, we know also to know, because it is the psychology and the sentiment of the investor that also help you to price a stock. That's why I said when a stock closed at 2 naira today, for that is the price the market has given that stock. If it closed at 5 naira, that is the price of demand and supply giving that stock. But for you as a fundamentalist or someone that is going to fall value for value, that is where we are. But for those that are like us, that are technical and combine the two, it's what the market said will settle for the day that will take at the right value of the stock at that particular time. That is what we want to look at. Then the quick one now that we want to look at again before we go to question and answer is very, very important for me. We have seen their earnings per share, but we want to look at this company, profit margin, because we want to know this company in every 1 naira, gross earning or any revenue or turnover they are having, what is retained as what as profit, because this profit as it also supporting the world their retained earnings, so that at the end of the day they can expand easily and also support what higher payout going to the future. But if you look at this setup, it shows that what is happening in the economy has also reflected on their profit margin. You can see the high cost of production and high cost of fund. You can see that most of them, their profit margin is below the 15% that we also preach in our to know how quality company is. Most of them are below. It tells you that this cost we are saying just telling on them. You can see for Unilever, you can see that about just 4.35%. The one that I know that are above our criterion or the one figure is this Nestle. Let me quickly, because I will see the company that are here. Nestle, okay, sorry, Champion Brewery, Nestle, and the Food and the Dangote Cement. I can tell you that the profit margin for this company are really impressive. You can see from here from 10.91 up. I see that these are above that 15. Okay, above 10. Well, let's say 15. But that is also enough, good enough. You also go down to look at that of Vitafoam. It tells you that these companies are well run, but they need to do more. You can see the part of cost generally across the globe and locally here is also influencing their performance. That means you and I should not just worry more of the profit margin, but want to see at the end of the day what is likely to come to also investor. But at this point, what is just very important for you to look at, you want to see what is the dividend yield for this company, and that dividend yield is just dividing the price of the stock with the number of dividend they pay last to know the dividend yield. One dividend is also above 10%. Above 10%. If it's above 10%, it tells you that the company is above 10%. It tells that the company also is yield is above what is seen in the fixed income market, especially Treasury bill and some others fixed income market instrument. This also should guide us to take our investment decision. I believe that the numbers from this sector are not actually bad, but they are good to guide us so that we know where to be when we're taking our work. Decision. It's very, very important, so that we know what we are doing at the right time as an investor. This for the fundamentals of this company. Quickly want to go back to the chart to see other things we also use to support this fundamental we have seen. Quickly go to our chart to look at our chart very well, because it's very, very important also, because sentiment in the market is very, very key when you are taking your decision, and that is what the chart will give you. If you look at the chart, this is a daily chart now. Yeah, to take this line. Sorry, let me take care.
Now 26 I give you. Confirm. Okay, you're right. All right.
Hello, house. Can you hear me? Hello.
The class is divided.
Hello.
Ambrose, we can hear you.
Okay, thank
Can
you.
hear you.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Can hear you.
Okay. From the chart, this is a daily chart we can see from here. This is a chart that shows that the market at this point there is a decline, and the first thing you can see after trotting almost crossing 49 here, we reversed the next day, and that was sustained. And as we speak now, market has also entered, despite the marginal increase. This is what we call a markup already. After the market has touched below 50 points, now climbing, but until it cross this blue one line, which is the T line, once it crosses that, yes, strong market has come, and I say another rally is up, but until it cross this market, but it's good that it's almost covered here to once it crosses, and I believe that with the numbers we are seeing, and the big boys, the hot money coming to the market, were expected to cross. But the good news is that any position you are now in a good stock with strong earnings, don't need to panic. Rather, what you just do is for you to just hold your position very well there, and also keep your eyes in the market. Once you do that, you are good to go. Don't need to panic out of position, but keep your eye to see if things are changing before you can adjust your position. But with what I've seen, I see that the earnings are good. But what's looking for with liquidity, because liquidity is a bit scarce, as I said earlier, because of what? Because of rate hike. But let people look at a week chart. We have not discussed the daily chart. And also, if you look at this chart here on the daily chart, this is what we call a MACD. MACD is very, very important for us to also look at while analyzing. You can see that MACD has already given us a sign that this market is gathering momentum. Once it crosses this signal line here up, and also this red one cross the blue line, that is a good sign for us that yes, we are seeing more strength in the market. Just keep your eyes in all these technical indicators. And also, if you look at your money flow, which is very important too, money flow now, as at the beginning of the week, you can see that money flow was even as low as almost around 22, but as peak now it has come up to almost 31 points or 32 points. For me, it's a good one for the market. But once it crossed 50, yes, we now know yes, more strength, more liquidity is coming to the market. But it's a good one. We're seeing a movement from as low as 20 to this level, but it becomes stronger and more assured that liquidity in the market. One is crossed 50 points in that level. That is where I can say yes, we are seeing more liquidity in the market. Let's go to our weekly chart, because this is the first week of the month of August. If you look at the weekly chart here, if you are with me, for me, this chart is very, very clear here. You can see after the market has gone for 2 weeks, in the month of July, that made July to close negative, and extending the pullback started in June. So you can see that market now at this level started to resist the decline here. But once it crossed this level, for me, it's also a good one. But only that the money flow at this point is, for me, is looking down for a monthly on a weekly chart, which is not too good. But we believe that once the daily chart continue the uptrend, that will reverse what. Know that the daily chart will give you more faster, information than the weekly. But the weekly is here to reverse, but more faster. Daily has reversed already, but weekly is still coming down as we speak. I believe that the chart is still strong. As well, your market is still maintaining, an uptrend. We say the market is still strong. Let's look at this. Let me bring out this. Let me draw one line here so that you will see what I mean by that. Market is in order in terms of chart. Let me see the. I'm looking for the tools to make it. I can see also, and draw this also an uptrend. You can see it here. This an uptrend. You can also equally draw that tell the market see an uptrend. Once you break down this uptrend, or what we call trend line, then you know that market, as we speak now, still up. Once you realize why I say when market cross 49,000 mark down, that's where we can start panicking that market is also bleeding. But as we speak now, market is still strong, and to keep our fingers crossed. Do not panic. Technically and fundamentally, market is still strong. It's just there's low liquidity. That's why market is not making the kind of move we expected, and this as a result of what they almost step by step, consistent increase in rate hike. The first one was almost with 250 basic points. Next one was 100 basic points. That is kind of slow down liquidity in the system, and until this improve, and I believe that with what we are seeing, there might not be another hike in the next MPC. If that is suffice, that is that we might see market also move. And don't forget that the last quarter of the year is always the most active year. This is a pre-election year. Cautions are here and there. But I tell you that it's because we have more local player in the market. That fear might not put the market down, but be in good stock, defensive stocks, and those that are going to pay dividend. That is a way to also hedge against any volatility. But the good thing is that volatility for we traders is what we need to make money. I believe that people that follow the live class last week to see where some stock give some investor 15%, just even without anything in less than 4 days, 3 days, 1 week, 22%, 24%. If you know how to do those volatility, when it's up to a level that it has not touched before, you understand the company has good fundamental, it will bounce back. Those that enter only well at 2 naira, 5 kobo, they made money almost 24%. Those that enter in it, I've said it before, you can see them even Stanbic IBTC. It's good to understand the market and know when to buy. Don't be carried away or fearfully brought out of decision because of market is pulling back. That pullback is what gives opportunity to buy low and stay high. Yes, I will say on this note, I will stop here to hear from your own input and also for going to question and answer. Thank you very much. Also, I want to say sorry for the interruption. I was very surprised that at this level, after we have improved, people are still trying to distract us when we are doing this kind of discussion. I don't like it. Please, let's behave as adults in the house.
Hello, Ambrose.
Yeah, thank you.
PZ was not included in your analysis.
Yes, because I've not seen PD. I only see their, we have discussed in this class, they are unaudited. We're going to see their final year. It was included last time we discussed when they released their unaudited account. Okay, any other question?
For Nestle and Nigerian breweries, they usually pay their interim dividend after the release of their Q3 results. Okay. So they don't pay in half year.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Okay.
Good morning, Ambrose.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, this is Salisu from Abuja.
Well done, sir.
Looking at those financials, I can see that the companies have been able to grow their turnover. So that's the effect of price increases. Most consumer goods have increased their prices, so turnover has increased. But when you now come to the bottom line, you'll see that they are struggling, obviously, because of energy cost, because of logistics and administrative expenses. One stock that has the highest yield is Dangote Sugar. At 16 Naira, Dangote Sugar will give you 10% returns. And I can see during the week, some guys went into it, immediately it shoot up to 17 before going back to 16.5.
Yeah. So
can we look at the chart for Dangote Sugar and see the RSI, and then you can advise us appropriately. Thank you.
Thank you. And that guys is good to understand technical analysis. Fine. Any other question? I'll go to RSI technical analysis. Any other observation here from the chart? I shall go up again so that you can look at it again. He has made a good observation, which I say is a good one. Yes, any other question?
Hello, Mr. Ambrose.
Yeah, well done, sir.
Well done thank you for the analysis, Mr. Ambrose.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, what is so much in Vital Foam that is defiling all defiling to come down a bit so that people can why?
You know, you say why I'm laughing now. You say why I'm laughing. I laugh. You know why I laugh? You don't ask why I'm laughing. You know, when a company is doing well, even just like human being too, when you are performing your office, they don't want you to go to another branch. They want you to remain that branch. So it is, if I see a company that is doing well, people have seen the third quarter result that, September is the end of their year. A few days will be in September. Nobody want to sell. It's just like also when also your share in issue is in few hands too, and the one they publish not much, price will remain stable. And that has supported Stanbic before now. Other big companies, because of their shareholding structure. And you know that for Vital Foam, their share in issue is still very small too. And the earnings are consistently looking up. For that, nobody wants to jump out into, like I said, when you are in a winning stock, you take profit gradually. People are still to see more, whether I can go. That is the Oliver twist. They want to ask more. That's why they are not selling. And you too, if you want to sell, you are there, you don't want to sell. It's just that it's natural for man. Only that know why you are there, watch the thing very well. Once you see that it's losing what attracted you in there, it's not there. That's why you can sell quickly. But if what attracted you, strong earnings is still coming up, better earning, people don't want to sell until they see the dividend. And also, if you look at the third quarter, earning per share, it's about almost 3 naira 65 kobo, 63 kobo. It tells you that for a few years, they expect something like that 4 naira or 4.20 from that company. If it happened, they paid you 150 last year, and then they might all likely to pay about 2 naira something, and that will be a good store for investor. And that is where the investor also want to look at that company because of their consistent and the rapid growth in their dividend. And this as a result of improved performance. they were paying kobo before they jump into naira because their earnings have also jumped to that level. With these earnings now for Q3, it tells you that the payment will come from this one to also be stronger and better. Like we just said earlier, most of these companies were able to decrease their prices. It has reflected on their top line. But you can see that they also manage their own costs to a level that they are still having about profit margin about almost 13%. For me, it shows that the Vital Foam is well run, and that's also what the investor wants to look at. But if you look at other sectors where you are seeing that the company is having about 43, 38% profit margin, those companies are well run. They're able to manage their costs. But for this to know what is happening in that manufacturing sector, you know that cost is hitting them. But you can see company with this kind of profit margin. You can see the earning per share at the third quarter. So that there's something, and that's why the price is not coming down. Yeah. Let me quickly call the chart of Dangote Sugar so that we can see the RSI, what is happening there, and that will also tell us, is it the time for you to jump in? We need to also know as investors or trader also the market is very, very key. Let's know what we are doing with our investment. This is very, very important. Let's go to the chart. Yes, this is the chart now. Let's look at the Dangote. But I've been changing it down there. Let me quickly change it. Dangote Sugar. Yes, this is Dangote Sugar on a weekly chart. We want to look at, let's start from daily chart from Dangote Sugar. Want to see. You can see the chart for Dangote Sugar for daily chart. Let's also look at the daily chart for Dangote Sugar. I will tell you that the stock as we speak now is above the T line. Fine. So even when they pull back here, but we want to look at the RSI as suggested. Let's look at what the RSI is doing here. Very, very important at this point. This is the RSI for the stock. As we speak, it's above above 50. It says that still that's why it pulled back from here. Now it's a good position. It's not overbought region, not oversold region, but at a good one that is stable for me. And this on the what on the day, daily time frame. Let's look at weekly time frame. Weekly time frame is also good. On 51 for me, it's also good. That I still have good upper routes to go. And if you look at the monthly chart too, I see that it's also good. Say that this stock is good. You can see in all it's around the 50 both daily, weekly. Says that fund is still entering this stock. For me, I also with the performance and the earning per share was said for Vital Foam. Even though we are taking dividend or capital acquisition, that's all it takes. I mean, if you are looking at considering the stock, I'll say go ahead.
Dangote Sugar.
And now go ahead and also consider the stock. But if you look at the chart on the monthly chart here, you need to see that as we speak now, it's slightly below the T line, which is good. I can see that looking at the ADS is still above 20. For me, it's also a good one for the stock. There's no cost for alarm. And this on the monthly chart. Let's look at the weekly chart also for this stock to look at. On the weekly chart, very, very good. For me, it's also okay. Almost touching ADS coming to around 20. You can see that 19.4. I can see that MACD is already positive here. You check this chart here for MACD. For me, it's okay. It's also positive. You can see that your MACD is positive here. It's also bullish already. I think, like you just said, for the first week we are now that closed last week, you can see MACD has crossed the signal line up so that one is entering the stock. The stock is looking good. Fundamental is good. Technical is good for Dangote Sugar. Yeah. Another question.
Yes, Ambrose, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, thanks for the analysis. And also thank you for including brewery sector in your analysis. We've seen.
I will not say you buy you.
No. The analysis was okay. Your recommendation, you decline it. That's fine. But for including it, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, in the week we've seen the mandatory takeover offer from. I said Preline for eternal oil. My question is, for those that want to sell after that is about 0.10%. What do you think is the prospect of eternal oil if we can look at it graphically on the technical analysis? Then the second one is Fitson. We've seen Fitson performance, which is good, but the issue that hangs on Fitson is if they will improve on their dividend payout, I think it would bring out something better. What is your take on Fitson going by projection of the half-year earnings? Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, I will start with the tender offer of eternal oil. And for me, I would say that for eternal, for me, investors that are not willing to take the mandatory tender offer to just hold their position and watch the eternal. Eternal has prospect that even we would surpass the 13 naira what they are buying. And if you look at what they are buying, it's just 1,300,000 shares. No, then if all of us are qualified, that means what they won't take, if you're having even 1 million units, they won't take up to 10 units from you, but they want to take it from others to make up that 1,300,000 shares. For me, it doesn't make any meaning. And also, if you look at the prospect of the company, do not rush and sell out your own. Just decide your patient and wait and go with the company performance for rally. And also, one thing many investors in the market, which I want to clarify in this class today, that they are kind of misinterpreting mandatory takeover and mandatory tender offer. These are two different things entirely in the market. And when you say mandatory takeover, when that 7-Up was listed, that will say mandatory takeover. When Ola acquired Dangote flour, then Dangote discussed on behalf of what? On behalf of the shareholders, and also seek for consumer protection council to waive that their rights so that they can buy everybody at once. That was what happened for Dangote, that everything was bought by Ola. But for those that are doing tender, and it's from the new can rule that they are operating on this, either they are going to take 1%, like they're taking 5% or taking even 500,000 as what I did. It is a law in the market that if you are acquiring more than 30% of any listed company on the exchange, mandatory tender is expected to you to take what you need to add to what you have before. It's not compulsory that you must take mandatory takeover. No. Also, when a company share capital or value in the market is not up to 40 billion, you must leave what we call 20% float. And that's why the life of Dangote Cement, MTN, Boa Cement, because their market cap is more than 40 billion, they can just only leave 5% as float without having issue, because it's what can and unprovoked. Because NSC want to protect the minority shareholder, that's why they make it that you must have 20% left. If you are not up to, if your share value or market cap is not to 40 billion, you must have at least 20% float. You can have more than 20% float. If you buy 30% as major shareholder and you not take another 10, that is 40, you can leave others for float, because other people will have that company. But for a majority shareholder, for you to take anything that you want to take from one after you have bought the 30% of the company. But now we are seeing that for the life of Honeywell is taking 1% of the outstanding share of the company, which is about 79 million. I would tell you this is the highest so far we have seen. If you want to look at what happened in BOC gases, when they took about just 1 million shares to have their own mandatory tender offer, that of Potoyi also was that just 500,000 shares. Now we're seeing Tana is also doing 1,300,000 shares. We don't know what Union Bank will come with, but I'm just letting you know so that you know that there's a difference between mandatory takeover and also mandatory tender offer. And this is a result of the law guiding in the market. But if a company is doing mandatory, it is not compulsory. You as an investor must give them, unless you don't understand the prospect of the company or you don't understand their business model. If you know a company that's expanding, then for me, why will you give up? Because the period they're going to do this offer, once they started it, you won't be able to trade that shares again, because that share in form of a lane until they finish and they release what they want to take and give you the one. For me, let's be very careful when we're doing all this. But for that of Honeywell, for me, it's a good one for investor because those one have almost 79 million shares. And also there are some people that has in that remaining, after the 77% of flour mill, that has about 8%, 5%. They're not ready to sell. If they're not, that means for those that want to give for, they'll pick it for you. But if you see the prospect of the company, to tell whether you should sell or you should go. There are people that are in Entana that are not ready to sell. There are some people that are also in Honeywell, they're ready to sell. Also, it depends your own investment object so that you know. Because for those that are in Entana, if you are qualifying date for that one is at 30th June. That means if you have anticipated Entana last week because of this offer, you're not going to qualify. It is so that their names in the company register at 30th of June that will qualify for the what for the 13 naira 50 to go for 1,300,000 shares. Hope you understand so that at the end of the day, don't rush out, into a extent that will go you, and at the end of the day, don't take little from what you have. It's better look for companies that you know that they have good things. For Entana, if you are there, I would advise, if you are like me, I'm not going to even offer a unit for that price of 13 naira 50, because I know that before the year end, it's possible that Entana will pass that 13 naira 50 kobo. No, we are doing. If not by next year, because Entana has all it takes. You have to that the impact of the last acquisition in Entana has started reflecting on their numbers. You want to take advantage of that and position in Entana and with that, want to give your few shares for 13 naira. Yes, if you have more, fine. But personally, I mean that I won't give now. I wait to get my real value because if even though Entana moves to 10 naira today, tomorrow or next week, and you have smiling and your stock is in some of a near position because they want to do the offer within this period. They want to trade that stock, and fine, they keep it for you. You trade. If the opportunity comes, you need to look at this and balance it yourself so that you know what to do. For fixing, for me, fixing performance is fantastic. Like we just said, it's only the area of dividend we're looking at them if they will improve. But from what we saw last year, when they improved, they almost like 100% good from 25 kobo to almost 50 kobo. If the number is going to 1 naira again, it's not a thing that we should not bother because it's possible again to give you 1 naira. And when they give you 1 naira for what I said, I speak now around 10 naira, and even at the end of the year, it's a good one for investors. But let's see whether the earnings remain or is that earnings that support their payout. We can't dictate for now because that is a board decision. But if their earnings remain positive and they are going in the way it is, good dividends will also come from fixing. And fixing being a leader in that sector in terms of performance, price will also going to support them because if they didn't pay good dividend, it's not going to affect their price. But good dividend will come because there's strong earnings. Yeah. Thank you. Any addition to the offer mandatory and all, we are very free to contribute that. The people in the house also have more ideas of what we are saying.
Ambrose, just on a tenor. Ambrose on a tenor. So if for example, you bought a tenor at around say 6 naira something and they're giving you 13 naira, and you do the tender offer or so on.
Yeah, tender.
Do you see a tenor just moving to do you see a tenor just moving to 13 naira within now and December? Because you can do the tender offer, get the money, and then buy at a lower rate again, and you've taken your profit.
No, what I mean that now once the offer commences now, and even though once you fill your form, you can't trade that stock again until the offer finish because they need to, when they finish taking what they want to do before they can release you to trade the remaining one. But for me, Etana has what it takes to go higher than that price, or less, because if you have even 1 million units of Etana, what they're going to take from your position will not be up to 100,000 units. No, don't go up to 10,000 units. No, because only just 1 million out of they have only just 60.89%. What about almost 500 million shares that are remaining? They have about 700 and something million shares. What are the 500 remaining from? And they're taking only just 1,300,000 shares. For me, it's very, very insignificant. It's very, very small. For me, I will advise that those that are really know what, you don't need to rush to work. Let's do that. Need more, because no matter what, they're going to take small quantity or small portion of your portfolio of your holding. And there are some there they're not ready to sell at all. You do that, I already go to them who are offer at this price. If you know the future of the company, why must you offer at this price? That you continue to pay dividend and the price goes to go up. Because if you have more shares, more dividend for you, and the price goes to go up, you are getting more. But from now, the earnings we have seen first quarter and second quarter says that at the end of this year, expect good dividend from Netana oil. And don't forget that the positive fundamental news for the sector is dropping up all of them. Look at the number that came from that sector; they are quite impressive.
Hello, Ambrose. Ambrose, what about Honeywell mandatory takeover?
Sorry,
okay.
Can I?
Yeah, come in, sir. Hold on. I will take your sir. Come in, Mr.
Sorry, I just wanted to make a few comments on it. Okay, I think, like you would always say, is a function of everybody's investing objective. So what they want to take is probably just 0.1% of the entire stock that the prime line or company has. So again, there's nothing wrong with somebody choosing to sell very negligible portion of his own shares, because like he said, even if you have 1 million, what they're asking for is 0.1%. 1% of 1 million, it's 130,000, and then another 1% of that is probably about 13,000, million shares. So those who think that based on the price that they bought, they can give away that small value, go ahead, to buy. But what is key is looking at the progress.
To buy, the date of qualification has gone. No, to buy now, you're not qualified.
No, sorry, did I say buy? Those I want to sell. Sorry,
okay.
Those I want to sell. You're free to sell. But if you're also looking at, I think as of today, their half-year earning per share, it's 96 kobo.
96 kobo, yeah.
And we don't know this new owner now that took over is the same owner of Rain Oil. This is the Rain Oil retail filling station.
Yeah.
Ogbichi. We have not seen him and the dividend policy he's going to drive, even though he's seen within the sector that he plays, because I have somebody in in Corn Oil and a few other retail companies that I was asking, who is this guy and what is his disposition? And I was trying to find out a bit about Rain Oil, that he has managed. I think for those of us who are following the retail business, within the last less than 10 years, he has built Rain Oil, such that Rain Oil has become a visible retail business. But what we don't know is what is the dividend payout is going to look like.
Yeah.
So if you see a 96 kobo, annualize it to probably 1 naira 80 kobo or 1 naira 90 kobo, what is it likely to pay out? That will set the pace of how that price, is going to rally. So much as there's opportunity for that growth, but personally, I think anybody who wants to give out this very little portion of his eternal oil for that price, you can also do so. Again, is those who are traders, you could also just watch this price and say, you know what, instead of me to give out my little stock at 13 naira 50 kobo, and before that money will get to me, maybe it might take 3 or 4 months. I can sell at 10 or 12 naira and I get my money that same day. And within these 3 months or 4 months that I'll be waiting for that return, I can use that same money to trade. And then by that 4-month time, I would have recovered and be in the same position or even better position with those that sell. So for those who are traders, I think all these are the analysis, that can be done. But for me, generally, anybody who wants to give away that small portion, because the margin is huge. If you do like 3 naira, 6 naira or 7 naira, and you can give out at 13.5, it's almost 100%. So you can give that out and cushion it. After all, it's just a very little component of your stock that they're asking for. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm talking about the time of the timeline. They have already said in their prospectus that the settlement date is going to be in September. So the timeline is not going to be.
Okay, that's good then. That's good. So it's short.
Short. For Honeywell, Mr. Shedrack, for your question. For Honeywell is doing 1% for that. And qualification date for Honeywell is just yesterday on the 5th. And the good thing is that Honeywell, that Flour Mill has already about 76-77% of that company. If they do this 1% again, that'll be around getting to around 78 or 80, let's say 80%. but the 20% will remain. But that is where they want to take another 20%, because there are some also people that hold 8%, 6%, 5% of Honeywell. They are not ready to sell. That means anybody that has small unit that want to sell, it's possible that your own will fly, because those that has 5% in Honeywell, because of the prospect of the company, they are not willing to sell. And that is why anybody that is going to Honeywell now, chance that you're going to sell at 420 is high, because there are some of them that are there, they are going to hold their own, they're not going to do tender offer as others will be doing. That will make the world to fly. Those that have small units in a Honeywell. But don't forget that it's just 1% they are taking. That is why it's about 79 million shares for Honeywell tender offer. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Ambrose. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. Please, still on eternal oil, there's a scenario I want us to just look at. The qualification date is 30th.
Yes, of June. Yeah.
Yes, please, can we consider a scenario of a man that bought after 30th, he had like 100,000 units, and on 12th of July, that same man sold. So what is the take of that man? The other side of it, is he expected to buy back now and restore so that he will have a stock? Because people do not have this understanding, and I feel it's something you can just throw light on for better understanding.
When you buy something and you sell it, you are no longer a member of the company.
A member, exactly.
As per qualification, is the man still qualified? Because as at that June 30th, he had the stock in the books.
Yeah, you have a point.
No, if you have
a sacrosanct.
No, go and read the offer.
Hold on.
There is a clause that covers that. There's something that you can do. I think there's a clause.
Hold on. What you will do to make it very easy for you, since the person has qualified, there's no share, contact the issuing house or the registrar of that, so that you find out. It's possible that the person will still, because there's a qualification date which has qualified before he sold, because he sold before that day. That means he was still there before 30th, even though he sold on the 1st of July or 2nd of July, he still qualified. Then you can still go and find out so that you know how to do it. Go get in touch with the registrar or the company in charge. They will give you more details. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hello, Mr. Ambrose. What is your take on this corn oil? Up till now, they have not paid dividend, and this thing closed 31st of May.
You know, these are the things our regulators also look at. As we speak now, I can't know why they did pay as at the payment date they were scheduled before now. But I think it's where the regulators and also the market, the NSC and the SEC also look into it. And it's not just only what's it called? This is not the first time, sorry, of this kind of act in Conway. Conway, they are not consistent, even when they are consistent in releasing their date results, they are not consistent in their payment. No, their way of operation. I think that is why, like one of us in the class said that there are some stock on the thing that you don't need to look their way, because one, they might have a good dividend policy, but because the nature and the way they do their things, they are not too transparent to guide you as an investor. Or as a trader, you can take advantage of movement in price going in. But when it comes to the dividend thing, I think one has to be very careful. We need to look companies that are consistent and also that are very transparent, so that at the end of the day, you'll be on the winner. Because most of them now, you have to wait. If your cost tech or the register, they tell you hold on, because until they disperse money to the register before they can start paying investors. But I'll find out why they're not paid. I'll get in touch with somebody to find out why it's still outstanding. Yeah.
Ambrose, Connoy, they've not even decided on the payment date, on the AGM date. Okay. When they released their dividend information, they said AGM later, dividend payment date later. So they didn't state the date. And even when they stated the date, they don't even pay. They pay maybe two to 3 weeks after the payment date. So that has been the problem with the company. Okay. You understand? So that's the thing about Connoy.
So, sir, may I find out, can't somebody dispose of all his shares there and then wait for the dividend until whenever they pay?
No, if you are qualified, you can do that. If you are qualified, if you are qualified, you can do that. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
What is also key that people can do even though corn oil people seems to be mafias. Now that a lot of AGMs are being done virtually, if one is able to get in probably as a proxy member, or you're able to speak with those members who are representing shareholders, you can go and raise that as a very strong issue on why corn oil is so irresponsible in terms of keeping up to their timelines and all that. Yeah. Even though I know it's not much might happen, but of course, once we start complaining, people can notice, and then perhaps that could help them start to adjust gradually. Yes. But we shouldn't just keep quiet and then relax. If we have any opportunity to be involved in any of those AGM, please let people speak out about all these inconsistencies that have been observed.
Thank you very much. Right.
Hello, Ambrose.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. Talking about corn oil, you say the way they are operating this thing now, I mean, with this virtual AGM, how can somebody get into their AGM and complain? You cannot. And anybody you use as proxy, you don't know which class of, which position he is in that company. Maybe those who have been given something, just even they won't call you to talk if you sneak into that AGM. They know those people they will call to talk. Those who will praise them, say they are doing fine, they are doing this, they are doing that.
They will stage manage it.
Yes, that's what they've been doing. I think the SEC should cancel this virtual meeting and let us be at the meeting. That is one. Then secondly, the SEC canceled the gift. It's not good. Okay. Why should they cancel my family's gift? Because that is part of the thing that we promote the company. Let's say now, I go for Unilever meeting and they gave me their toilet soap, those their product. That will make me to remember that I should be buying their product. But not that they should go and buy umbrella and go and buy from other places and give us a ridiculous amount that this is what they spend on in buy gifts. They should use the product they are producing and give us to the shareholders as a gift during the AGM. That's where I stand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Noted. You know, for people that attended the personally, I don't get unless your occasion, like for people that attended, will take note of it and also bring it before the notice of the company so that they can also work on it. Yes, our time is fast spent. We look at our stock to look at this week. But the good thing is here that the market is still waiting for liquidity, and that suggests that if you're in a good position, like you don't need to even panic. Keep your eyes on your positions and also wait to see where the market will go in the new week. Well, I tell you that the PFA don't rush like the way we rush to take a decision. Now they'll be doing their due diligence on the earnings between now and end of the month. And also don't forget we are looking at to see the first year banks result. If all this will be a catalyst that will put the price up, when they start buying as PFAs or investors, that will bring liquidity to the market. Market might go up. But if you are really want to take a position for interim dividend, there are some stock that you can still buy for interim dividend. Stock like those what are the stock we're going to share now. Those are for interim dividend. If you are not there, or if you are there already, you don't need to just exercise patience and wait. But those that are not in those stocks,
I'm not hearing.
Look at them. Let's look at the stock that will pay interim dividend in the banking sector. That if you look at, if you are not in Access Bank, the price around 9 naira, 890, 880 is a good one for you to enter Access Bank. UPA has said 7 naira, 25 kobo is a good one for trade dividend because half year is already, second half already entered the second month, the second half of the year. For me, it's a good one to buy. Then the pullback in GTB made that stock for me for trade dividend paying stock. I also consider it. Then why I see opportunity also in the Zenith Bank. Zenith Bank, from the vineyard, from what I'm hearing, their number was very good. For those that know that consistent dividend in Zenith Bank, I think which one in Zenith Bank at this at this current price of 21 naira 90 to go. Or if you go back again, become more attractive for you to vote. These are the stocks we are going to. For others, we're already there. We're waiting for what? For the price to rally for come out. But by next week, we're giving sales signal for some. We have seen that they have made some up movement in the buy and sell signal. But for now, no new stock apart from this one I've got called Access Bank, UBA, GTB, and what? And Zenith Bank. And if guys are in your portfolio, just wait and see their numbers. Don't sell, don't panic. You can see that the banking sector is the one supporting the market here. So apart from the few high cap stock, the banking stock are doing because of their price, and also the potential we are seeing that going to the forward, going to the future, we expect to see better numbers despite what is happening in the economy. With the little we are seeing in a rate hike, going to be a plus for the financial sector. If that happens, most of these banks third quarter will look better if this trend continues. For me, it's time for you to buy them at this price. Yes, on this note, we say
there are some questions.
Mr. Please, should we hold on well or sell?
Chat box.
Please.
Okay.
Should we hold on well or sell?
Only well, it depends on your investment. I would say apply the remaining one. If anyone they take, fine. I would say hold on, but just apply. Just apply. Fill your funds.
Mr. Ambrose.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. What's your take on WAPCO? Is there a possibility of giving interim dividends?
Well, I can't say for now, but their numbers are good, and for me, WAPCO is a place to be. If you are there, don't sell your WAPCO. If you want to buy, this price is also attractive. For interim dividend, I can't say for now, but it's possible. But they have released their number. We have not seen anything, but they can do that later between now and end of the month. But for me, the numbers from WAPCO was a very good one. Look at number from WAPCO and the BOA in that sector is a good one, and that from compared to that from Dangote Cement. Dangote Cement, consider there was a little decline in their half year. Therefore, those ones were looking up for me. Dangote WAPCO is a good one to look at this point. Yes, let me look at the
WAPCO is not giving interim dividend. They decided to give one dividend at the end of the financial year.
Yeah, if
so
that
no
is
interim
good,
dividend
if that is good, the number we are seeing support a good dividend payout. Then you can hold your position in WAPCO. There's no cause for that. Yeah.
Something goes with total.
Oh, Julius Berger.
Hello, Mr. Ambrose.
Hello, sir.
Kindly ask a question for me. Hello.
Hello.
Mr. Ambrose.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead,
I just want to find out what is advisable to sell the Honeywell or not to sell. Just yes or no, please.
For me, I will say if you're a long-term investor, don't sell. Wait, for long-term investor, don't sell. For traders, if you're able to sell some with this 4 naira on good, but for long-term investor, don't sell.
Thanks very much. God bless you.
The trust please.
So, Mr. Ambrose, please, before you leave, what is happening in First Bank?
First Bank, I don't have any information apart from the numbers I'm seeing there and the sentiment behind the stock. It dropped a little before night, time around 10.95. I don't see anything happening there now. Unless I look at the chart again. I don't have any other information on First Bank. But let's look at the questions on the chart box. Let's look at them. Yes, why is PZ not there? I put that PZ we're expecting to see their full year. We have seen your unaudited account and the number is not looking bad. If that is sustained, good dividend will come from PZ. Yeah. The next one. Okay. Any latest on Union Bank? No. But thinking that any moment from now or looking at to see that there will be monetary tender from that company or monetary takeover, all depending on what they come with. So we'll be looking at either monetary tender or takeover will come from Union Bank. But we know that the least price we can get is 7 naira. It can be above that 7 naira because we know that the major deal was done at 7 naira for Union Bank. Yeah.
Sorry, Ambrose.
Yeah.
Ambrose.
Yeah.
Sorry, what is happening with NIMET?
NIMET is they're already planning for right issue now. They are right issue. They started already now, and that is why the price is still there. Once they are done the right issue, before can see any movement. Yeah.
But the price is going down.
That is market. For me, if you want to increase your stake, you can buy from the market at 140, but the right issue at 150.
For later analysis myself.
Okay, thank you.
The questions, you have not finished the questions.
I know.
Julius Berger, please.
Julius Berger, hold your position, Julius Berger. There's no cause for alarm, Julius Berger. You are there. I'm there to hold your position there. There's no cause for Las Vegas at all. Hold your position there. Yeah. The next, okay, sorry, let me go to where I stopped. Okay, I've answered the, okay. Japo has been on the maximum daily gain for, I mean, Japo, I will say be very careful. I will caution you. Personally, I don't treat that kind of a low-cap stock. I've not seen a number from Japo that will justify me buying Japo, unless you have information on your own. I have to be very careful. Here is on full bid, as we just say here. We have to be very careful. People that drop Japo around 1 naira, 20 kobo, 1 naira, 30 kobo, they are still kind of hook in that stock. You have to be very careful when we are paying this kind of stock. It moved from almost from 21, a bit 22, almost 32 kobo, with about almost 27 kobo, 27% return in a week. If you have an opportunity to do that, take your profit and go. Don't say because you won't be trapped in Japan. I know many people that are trapped in Japan. They can't say even at 32 kobo or 37 kobo. They enter at what 1 naira, some 120, some 80 kobo. You have to be very careful with Japan. There's no, I don't have any information for Japan now. Yeah. There was news about the Wando AGM schedule for next week. Let's see what will come out of their AGM. But I said, if they want to take a backdoor to the list, we want to know. But don't forget that if you are in Wando, like I said earlier, that if you have sold half, keep your half. Because if the way Wando want to go, before the regulator can approve for Wando, what's it called, the listing, they must agree to pay investor a good money, because the last right issue Owando did was around 17 naira. If they are thinking of going out of the market for a good 8 years, they didn't pay those investors that bought their right issue at 17 naira. After buying 17, I can't come and tell me you're going to give me 5 naira. No, as you want to buy, want to the list. No, that means if they are offering to pay the list at 17 naira, that's why I say those that have sold half, leave your half and what. But only that we don't know where we say that their closure date will be. But if I know Wando, just wait to see, because I know from the AGM we'll get another information as regards their listing plan. Yeah. Me and Baker did not pay me my dividend. That was no problem now. There are people actually flowing up. One of my friends also got his own last week here now. Can follow up for your dividend. They will pay as well. No, you feel your what the e-mandate. If you didn't do that, you can do now and follow it up. They will pay you, the dividend. It's still there. Yes. Don't follow up your dividend. Call the registrar. They will pay you your dividend. There's no cost for that. Even the price of me and Baker, for me at this price, is also good for long-term investor to get that. But we're seeing potential in that industry already. I will say thank you all for your time. See you next week, Saturday, by God's grace. Enjoy your weekend. Before we go, let somebody quickly pray for us as usual.
Ambrose, there must be something in Zenith Bank. It's just rising every day now. Zenith.
That's why I said, when I said from the very end, I said the number we are spending then will be good. I did say, I said buy Zenith for 3 dividend. I can hope for full year, because with this increase in rate, most of the bank results will be looking up going to the future. No problem. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome, sir. Let's put somebody pray for us quickly. Our time is fast spent. Somebody pray for us. I want a Christian brother or sister, a Muslim brother pray for us at the beginning. Let somebody, a Christian sister or brother, also round up the class for us.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Father, we thank you. We bless your name for this opportunity to learn at your feet again this afternoon. Father, we thank you because your word said that he that waters shall be watered. Father, your vessel you have used, Ambrose, Father, continue to water him in the name of Jesus. Amen. And Father, we declare that we shall not just be hearers of the word, but also doers. And we are here to make profit, and we shall make profit. This is our week, Lord. The new week is the week we have been waiting for. Everything you have created will work in our favor. And we shall come back here next Saturday testifying of your faithfulness and goodness. And so shall it be in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much, sir. Enjoy your weekend.
Okay, Ambrose, enjoy your weekend too.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, Mr. Ambrose.
Yeah, thank you, Ambrose.
Thank you, Mr. Ambrose.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, Ambrose.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
I'll get in touch with you later.
Okay, sir. Oh, yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, sir.